Hey guys, it's your girl Marielle. Welcome back to my channel, Friday Night Light Movie Reviews, where we do reactions and reviews to other digital content, TV shows, and movies. As always, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Please share this with your friends and family. And also, don't forget to hit me up and chat with me on my other digital platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So, like I said in my couple of videos, that every day for this month and 31 days of horror and thriller movies. But I did mention that in between, we're going to be doing other movies, other digital content. And today is one of those things. We're going to be talking about the highly talked about Netflix comedy special. It's the last one from Dave Chappelle called The Closer. Normally, I don't do comedy shows, but because of the kind of repetitive of Dave Chappelle shows, and I don't mean repetitive in a bad way, because I think Dave Chappelle is freaking hilarious and his comedy is very thought-provoking. And some people, it's not their cup of tea. For me, it is my cup of tea. As an adult, as a mature adult, I know where to divide someone being disrespectful for someone just telling a joke. I think we're living in the time where a lot of people are very sensitive. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there's so many people really showing their colors about how they feel about the LGBTQ community, transgender, black women, interracial. Just, there's so many people out here being mad fucking disrespectful. But again, I know I feel like, and I know because I'm mature enough to tell the difference between disrespect and a joke. So I think that's why I kind of wanted to do this review on his comedy special. This video is going to be kind of short because it's a comedy special. There's not too much we could talk about. But I think the controversy around it is how he talks about transgender and how he talks about non-binary and the LGBTQ plus community. And he always sometimes talks about the Me Too movement with feminism and things of that nature. So the comedy special, The Closer, it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. Me and my husband watched it. And before anybody starts coming at me in these comments talking about, of course I would find it funny because I'm not a part of that community, blah, 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 blah. That's bullshit. That's like trying to tell me I can't talk about somebody, or I can't have an opinion of long hair because you see me having short hair. It's not that I can't talk about it. It is not that it's an opinion. And I think people get opinion confused with fact. And he's telling you how he feels. He's giving you his opinion. And the fact that, okay, here's a story that I think is a reason why there's so many people that will keep riding for Dave Chappelle and still buying everything, listening to his podcast, which his podcast is mad dope, and his comedy specials. And yes, this is the last one. And he said this is going to be the last one. And he's not going to probably be coming back to the stage for a little bit. He kind of got regrouped from, certain things that's going on in his life and in the world. But when he was doing Chappelle's show, and there was a skit where he said the F word. I don't like saying it. So he said the F word. And the lady, who was at Comedy Central was like, Dave, you can't say that. You can't say the F word. And he was like, why not? He was like, because you're not gay. That's kind of like their word. And he was like, well, I'm not a nigga either, but y'all keep letting me say the word nigga on TV. And I guess if I'm comfortable saying nigga, I can say faggot. But that's what the word was. He said the word faggot. And she was like, you can't say it because you're not gay. And he was like, well, I'm not a nigga either. So how come y'all are okay with me saying the N-word, right? That's kind of like, to me, like a mic drop. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be mad for one thing and be enthralled about one thing and not other things. Because there are black LGBTQ people, correct? There are black non-binary, black non-gender conforming, black whatever. It don't matter, everybody can fall into these different categories. Being gay doesn't say that you can't be black anymore. Being transgender doesn't mean you can't be, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how I'm seeing it. And yes, he talks about stuff. Yes, he pushes the envelope. And I mean, you know what I mean? So does Bill Maher. And this man was still on television for years, and he was talking about mad stupid shit. Just had the dumbest views. But I'm not going to sit here and try to lie about what he said when people can go back and see what he said. And this is what was happening with Dave Chappelle. I didn't watch the special. I saw the Twitter comments before I watched the special, which drove me to watch it even more. And I got to say, some of these comments that was on Twitter, I want to know what special y'all was watching, because y'all basically said in this Twitter that Dave Chappelle says that he hates transgenders, that he would beat the shit out of a transgender, that he doesn't think non-binary and all this other stuff is for real. I want to know what special you was watching, because he never said any of those things. He said that he was in a bar and it was a person that he was about, like he said, this is what I wanted to say, but I didn't say it. And then when Shorty got into her southpaw, boom, bam, boom, you know what I mean? He was joking, but he never admitted to hitting anybody. You know, he never said he doesn't like the LGBT community. He never said he doesn't like transgenders. I mean, come on, his favorite transgender, who, by the way, he let open for him every time he was in San Francisco, named Daphne. She loved him. He loved her. She's trans, right? And then the trans community tore her down when she stuck up for Dave Chappelle. And then recently she had ended her life. And my husband is like this. To deal with tragedy, he tells a lot of jokes, or he's a very helpful person. And Dave Chappelle looks like to be that person. To deal with tragedy, that he was very hurt behind her death, he tells jokes. He was like, yo, she jumped off a building. That's some man shit. That takes balls, like, from a man, not from a woman. But it was a joke for him to deal with his grief, for his grieving, because he knew who she was. So much that you think he hates transgenders so much that when Daphne passed on, he started a trust fund for her daughter. And when she turns 21, he's going to give it to her himself. So he can tell his daughter about her, about the things that they experienced together. I understand. Okay. I mean, y'all can sit there and say, how can I be racist? And I got black nieces and nephews. Like, if y'all can say that, how come he can't say this? And his is actually true. Not to the stupid people that say, I'm not racist, I got black friends, you know, all that stupid shit or whatever. I said all of that to say, we have to start actually listening fully and not taking what we hear and then smashing it together to fit our views, to fit how we feel about a person. Like, if you want to pull this person's card, then come with facts. And you didn't come with facts. You took pieces of his special and you mashed it together to suit your agenda. And that's just wrong. He's just funny. He's a very thought-provoking person. Again, people didn't care for him when he talked shit about the Me Too movement. And he said, look, this is what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happened. Because he made another valid point. He was like, you know, for the people in the Me Too movement, if you see this woman working on a set or working behind the scenes or whatever, and you know that she's getting treated unfairly, how come you said, I'm not going to do this film, I'm not going to appear here until this woman gets equal pay, till this woman gets talked to like she should be talked to? But y'all didn't do that. And I'm not saying that no woman did it. I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of women that probably did do what he was talking about, but not enough to where it made waves, so it made ripples that we saw it on television or on social media. And he's like, y'all can't, he's like, I'm a feminist. I believe in shit that is true. I believe in equal rights. I believe. He was like, J.K. Rowling recently got canceled because she said gender is a matter of fact. This, by the way, totally shocked me, because at first I was like, yo, J.K. Rowling, like, how you saying something like this? They took what she said, mashed it up, and suited their agenda, because the things that they said, she didn't. Don't get me wrong. She don't agree with it, but that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything. That's not what life is. It's definitely, life is not black and white. There's many gray areas to this life, to treating, to viewing, to asking, to saying whatever. There's many layers. There's so many gray areas. It can't just be black and white, because if it was, we wouldn't have the LGBT community. We wouldn't have non-binary. We wouldn't have transgender. There's so many gray areas that certain people fit in. And if you don't like it, fuck you. You don't gotta like it. There's plenty of people that don't like me and I'm black. I don't give a fuck. I'm here though. So why? No, now, I agree. When people are starting to kill transgender, beating the shit out of them people need to be put under the fucking jail, because there's no reason why you should be putting your hands on anybody. Just because you don't appreciate what they got going on, keep your motherfucking hands to yourself and take it across the street. Because I'm just waiting for a transgender to put somebody on their ass. But that's just me. And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But the comedy show was amazing. I cracked up laughing. I cry. And that's every time I watch Dave Chappelle. I mean, he even said something like, he was like, when the transgender was clapping her hands, like, you don't know me, da 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 da. And he was like, you hanging around black bitches. Like, I know some black women was mad. You know? But some black women talk like that. I talk a lot with my hands. You think I fucking give a shit? You think I'm gonna feel some type of way because Dave Chappelle said black bitches? I know who I am. I know I'm not ignorant. I know I'm intelligent. I know I'm beautiful. I know all these things. I don't need anybody else to validate that for me. And I think that's a big issue. But overall, if you want to laugh, if you want to be thought-provoked, go ahead and watch the Netflix comedy special called The Closer. It's up now on Netflix. I think it's a worthy watch. I'm giving it 5 pumpkins. You guys tell me what you think. And we are at the end of this video. Please, please, please conversate with me. But don't be disrespectful. I'm so open to interpretation on anything. So, like I always say, with that being said, stay courageous, stay safe, stand on your own 2 feet, put your feet in that paint. And I will see you guys in the next